Comfort is killing you. Not slowly, not occasionally, quietly, every single day. You tell yourself, I'm fine, I'll wait, I'll start tomorrow. But meanwhile, habits form, comfort grows, ambition fades. Every decision to stay comfortable builds a life smaller than what you're capable of. The question is simple. Are you living your life, or are you letting comfort quietly steal it from you? Take a moment and think about your daily life. How many times do you choose the easy option, the familiar option, the option that doesn't push, doesn't challenge, doesn't risk embarrassment, failure, or discomfort? Comfort is deceptive. It feels safe. It feels good. But it is a silent thief. Every hour spent avoiding challenge, every minute spent choosing ease over effort slowly erodes your potential. You wake up, hit snooze, scroll through your phone. Grab a quick breakfast and follow the routine that is easy and predictable. It feels harmless, comfortable, normal. But every one of these small decisions accumulates. They shape your habits, your mindset, and ultimately your life. And when you look back in a year or 5 or 10, you realize that comfort didn't just pause your growth, it quietly destroyed it. Let's be honest, humans are wired to seek comfort. It's natural, but natural does not equal productive. Natural does not equal growth. Evolution gave us comfort as a survival tool, but it was never meant to build greatness. Greatness requires discomfort. Growth requires sacrifice. Think about a person you admire, someone who accomplished something remarkable. Did they achieve it by choosing the easy path? Did they wait for the perfect moment when comfort was guaranteed? No. They leaned into discomfort. They chose challenge. They resisted the urge to remain small. Contrast that with your life today. Comfort sneaks in everywhere. Staying in your current job even when it doesn't challenge you. Avoiding difficult conversations, even when they matter. Ignoring your health because it's easier this way. Scrolling endlessly through social media instead of pursuing your goals. Each time you choose ease over effort, the brain reinforces the pattern. Comfort becomes a habit. Habits define behavior. Behavior defines identity, and identity defines your entire life. Let me give you an example. 2 men wake up at 6 a.m. with the same goal, to improve their lives. The first man wakes, hits the alarm once, and stays in bed scrolling. He delays exercise, delays focus, delays work. Every small decision reinforces his comfort zone. By the end of the day, he feels satisfied with rest, but empty on progress. The second man wakes at the same time. He feels the pull of comfort. The bed is warm, the phone is tempting, the world outside feels too demanding. He resists, he moves, he takes small, deliberate actions to push himself. By the end of the day, he feels tired, yes, but energized, fulfilled, growing. The difference is comfort versus challenge, choice versus passivity. Ask yourself, how many hours of your life are being quietly stolen by comfort? How many potential victories never happen because they require effort, risk, or temporary discomfort? How many dreams fade simply because the easy path is tempting? Here's the harsh reality. Nobody comes to push you. Nobody is responsible for making you uncomfortable so you can grow. Comfort is everywhere, quietly whispering, stay here, don't push, don't risk, don't try. And if you listen, if you follow that whisper, your life shrinks without you even realizing it. But awareness is the first step. Once you see how comfort is quietly ruining your life, you can fight it. You can choose action over ease. You can choose growth over stagnation. And that choice begins today with one uncomfortable step forward, no matter how small. Comfort doesn't always look like laziness. It doesn't always mean lying on a couch doing nothing. Sometimes comfort wears the mask of productivity, safety, or routine. And that's what makes it so dangerous. Think about your day. How often do you choose actions that feel safe rather than necessary? You stay at your current job because it pays the bills, even though it doesn't challenge you. You scroll through social media to relax, but hours slip by unnoticed. You avoid difficult conversations, uncomfortable tasks, or decisions that could change your life. You plan instead of acting, convincing yourself that preparation is progress. All of these are subtle traps. They feel harmless, they feel reasonable, they feel comfortable, but they quietly steal your energy, your momentum, and your potential. Let me give you an example. Imagine 2 friends, both wanting to start a business. Friend A is cautious. He waits for the perfect time, researches endlessly, avoids risk, and stays in comfort. Weeks turn into months, months turn into years. He is busy, but not productive, comfortable, but stagnant. Friend B feels fear, uncertainty, and discomfort every day. He takes small steps, experiments, fails, learns, and grows. Every day, the discomfort compounds into progress, experience, and resilience. The difference isn't luck. It's the willingness to feel discomfort instead of seeking comfort. Comfort is seductive because it is immediate. It rewards you instantly with peace, ease, and safety. But growth is delayed. Growth is uncomfortable. Growth is uncertain. And because humans naturally chase immediate rewards, comfort almost always wins unless you actively resist it. Here's another trap. Comfort disguises itself as necessity. You tell yourself you need to wait, when really you need to act. You tell yourself you need security, when really you need challenge. Every excuse is a whisper from comfort, nudging you to stay small. And every time you listen, your potential shrinks just a little more. Ask yourself, how many times have you said, I'll start tomorrow, or I'll do it when I feel ready, or I deserve a break, knowing deep down that these are lies your mind tells you to stay comfortable? The truth is, comfort is a liar. It tells you that waiting is safe, that avoiding risk is wise, that inaction is acceptable. But in reality, it is quietly building a life smaller than what you're capable of. Here's the paradox. Comfort feels safe in the moment, but creates fear in the long term. It protects you from temporary stress, but leaves you unprepared for life's challenges. It may feel good now, but it erodes resilience, confidence, and capability over time. If you want a life of purpose, a life that matters, you must identify these subtle traps. You must see comfort for what it is, a silent enemy disguised as harmlessness. And you must choose to act in spite of it. Even small steps matter. Saying no to a short-term indulgence, facing a task you've been avoiding, pushing yourself to take action when fear or laziness wants to keep you still. Because each time you resist comfort, your confidence grows, your resilience grows, your identity shifts from passive to proactive, and slowly the life you've been waiting for begins to appear. Not by luck, not by circumstance, but by intentional discomfort. Reflect on this. How many opportunities have slipped away because comfort whispered, "Not now"? How many small, repeated decisions have quietly built a cage around your potential? How long will you let comfort quietly ruin your life before you decide to act? The moment you recognize these subtle traps, you gain the power to fight back. You begin to act intentionally. You begin to choose growth over ease, challenge over safety, and progress over stagnation. And that is where transformation begins. Comfort feels safe, it feels good, it whispers, "You're fine, don't push, take it easy." But here's the truth. Every hour spent choosing comfort over challenge costs you more than you realize. Every small decision to stay comfortable accumulates into a life you never intended to live. Every skipped workout, every delayed task, every avoidance of discomfort slowly erodes your potential. By the time you realize it, the cost is massive. Think about the person you could have become. Stronger, disciplined, focused, resilient. How far would you have gone if you faced discomfort instead of avoiding it? Every choice of ease over effort is a choice to stay small, to stay average, to delay your growth. Let's make this real. Imagine a young professional who dreams of starting a business. Day after day, they choose comfort. They spend time scrolling through social media, watching videos, or playing games. They tell themselves, "I'll start tomorrow. I need to rest today." Weeks turn into months, months into years. Opportunities slip by, confidence erodes, skills that could have been built are never developed. The gap between potential and reality grows wider. Meanwhile, someone else chooses discomfort. They sacrifice short-term comfort for long-term growth. They face rejection, they struggle, they fail, they learn. And by the same time, the gap between them and the first person is enormous, not because of luck, but because they embrace the cost of discomfort. Comfort is deceptive because its cost is delayed. Immediate consequences feel minimal. The bed feels warm, the couch feels safe, the routine feels secure. But over years, the accumulation of small, comfortable choices creates regret, frustration, and mediocrity. Consider your health. Comfort makes it easy to skip exercise, eat poorly, or avoid challenges to your body. A few skipped workouts feel harmless. But over months and years, that comfort translates into fatigue, low energy, and lost physical potential. Consider your mind. Comfort allows you to avoid learning, reading, thinking deeply, or tackling difficult problems. Short-term ease feels fine, but over time, mental sharpness diminishes, creativity fades, and confidence declines. Consider your relationships. Comfort allows you to avoid difficult conversations, avoid expressing needs, or shy away from vulnerability. The short-term ease prevents conflict today, but it builds distance, resentment, and missed opportunities for meaningful connection. Ask yourself honestly, how many hours, days, or years have slipped by while comfort whispered, "It's fine, you can wait"? How many opportunities have passed silently because you chose ease instead of challenge? How many dreams remain unfinished because comfort was easier than discomfort? The cost of comfort is invisible until it becomes unbearable. It doesn't scream at you daily. It quietly accumulates until one day you wake up and realize you are farther from your goals than you imagined. You are not the person you could have been. Your potential is being stolen silently. This is why awareness alone is not enough. Recognizing comfort's presence is the first step, but action is essential. You must be willing to pay the short-term cost of discomfort if you want long-term rewards. You must be willing to do what others avoid, to move when others hesitate, to push through resistance when others surrender. Comfort is cheap today but expensive tomorrow. The price isn't obvious at first. It is slow, subtle, cumulative. And that is why so many people look back with regret. They didn't fail because they lacked talent. They didn't fail because they were unlucky. They failed because they let comfort quietly steal their energy, focus, and ambition. The real question now is, how long will you continue to pay this invisible cost? How long will you let comfort quietly ruin your life before you choose challenge over ease, growth over stagnation, and progress over passivity? The moment you understand the true cost of staying comfortable, you gain a weapon, conscious choice. You can no longer pretend comfort is harmless. You can no longer allow it to quietly define your life. Every action you take from this point can either pay the cost of growth or continue to pay the cost of comfort. And that choice, small, deliberate, uncomfortable, is where transformation begins. Breaking free from comfort is simple to understand, but difficult to execute. That's the catch. Everyone knows that growth requires effort, risk, and challenge. Few act on it consistently. The first step is awareness. You must recognize when comfort is influencing your choices. This requires honesty, noticing when you're avoiding effort, delaying action, or seeking ease at the expense of your future. Without awareness, you will continue drifting, thinking that everything is fine while your potential quietly slips away. Once you see comfort for what it is, the next step is deliberate discomfort. Growth is uncomfortable, success is uncomfortable, and transformation is uncomfortable. You must choose discomfort as a tool rather than fear it as a threat. Start with small, controlled challenges. Wake up 30 minutes earlier than usual. That small discomfort compounds into an hour, then 2, then a lifestyle of disciplined mornings. Take on a task you've been avoiding, the one that feels heavy or awkward. Completing it builds confidence and momentum. Reduce reliance on easy distractions, social media, binge watching, endless scrolling. Instead, invest that time in purposeful action. Here's the key. Short-term discomfort leads to long-term freedom. Every time you resist ease, you build energy, focus, and resilience. Every time you do what others avoid, you gain what others never will. Reflection is critical. After each act of discomfort, pause and observe. How did that feel? What did I gain that I wouldn't have if I stayed comfortable? What patterns do I need to repeat tomorrow? These reflections train your mind to associate discomfort with growth rather than pain or avoidance. Your brain slowly rewires itself. Discomfort no longer signals danger. It signals opportunity. Another essential strategy is structure and boundaries. Comfort thrives in chaos and unstructured time. The more organized your day, the fewer opportunities comfort has to sneak in. Set clear priorities. Protect your time. Remove temptations. Small boundaries create massive leverage over long-term behavior. Also, embrace delayed gratification. Comfort tempts you with instant pleasure, a short scroll, an easy decision. a soft mattress. Growth rewards you with delayed satisfaction, skills, discipline, achievements, identity. The more you practice choosing delayed reward over immediate ease, the stronger you become mentally and emotionally. Here's a real-life example. Imagine an aspiring writer. Every evening, the choice is comfort versus action. The easy path is to relax, scroll, watch a show. The difficult path is to write 500 words. At first, the comfort feels better, but each evening, that discomfort is chosen. The writer grows stronger. Months later, the writer has hundreds of thousands of words, a sharper mind, and confidence in creation. While those who chose ease remain unchanged, internal dialogue is crucial. You must train your mind to say, I am willing to feel discomfort because it builds the life I want. I do not fear short-term struggle. I embrace long-term growth. Every moment of discomfort is an investment in myself. It's about consistent, small victories. Every time you act in spite of ease, you train your brain, reinforce your identity, and build momentum. Over weeks and months, these small victories compound into massive transformation. Finally, understand that discomfort is temporary, but growth is permanent. Comfort may feel good now, but it costs years of potential. Discomfort may feel hard now, but it shapes a life that is larger, stronger, and more meaningful than any comfort could ever provide. Ask yourself, how many small discomforts are you willing to embrace today to reclaim your energy, focus, and future? How long will you continue to let comfort quietly steal your life before you take deliberate action? The path to freedom begins with a single step, uncomfortable, deliberate, and intentional. Once you take it, the momentum begins, and each subsequent step becomes easier, not because comfort disappears, but because your identity begins to align with growth rather than ease. When you choose discomfort over comfort consistently, the results are not immediate. Growth rarely happens overnight, but over time, the impact is enormous, and it shapes your identity, your habits, and your life. Imagine two people with the same potential and talent. One chooses comfort every day, the other chooses discomfort. At first, there is little difference. The comfortable person feels relaxed, entertained, and safe. The disciplined person feels fatigue, challenge, and resistance. But years later, the difference is staggering. The person who embraced discomfort has built habits that reinforce focus, resilience, and self-mastery. They have accomplished what others only dream about. They have grown stronger mentally, physically, and emotionally. Their identity aligns with progress. They are no longer controlled by fear, procrastination, or avoidance. Meanwhile, the person who chose comfort feels frustrated. They wonder why life seems stagnant, why opportunities pass by, why they feel unfulfilled. They are left with regret, lost potential, and a sense that life has quietly slipped through their fingers. Here's a real-life analogy. Think of a muscle. If you never challenge it, it remains weak. If you lift weights, push through pain, and challenge your limits, it grows. Discomfort is the weight, growth is the muscle. Avoid the challenge, and weakness remains. Embrace it, and strength is inevitable. This is exactly how life works. Every uncomfortable decision, every act of discipline, every moment you resist ease adds to your life muscle. Over weeks, months, and years, these moments compound into skills, confidence, and results that feel effortless. Not because the work stopped, but because the foundation was built over time. Embracing discomfort also reshapes your mind. You begin to see challenges as opportunities. Obstacles no longer feel like threats. Temporary struggle becomes familiar, almost welcome, because you understand it leads to growth. Your tolerance for difficulty increases. And with it, your capacity for success. There's also a ripple effect. When you consistently embrace discomfort, your habits improve, your energy increases, your focus sharpens, your relationships benefit because you are more present, disciplined, and resilient. Your work improves because you are willing to push past resistance when others quit. The long-term impact is clear. Discomfort compounds into mastery. It compounds into confidence. It compounds into identity. And identity drives everything: decisions, habits, focus, energy, and results. Ask yourself, what would your life look like 1 year from now if every day you chose growth over ease? What would 5 years look like? 10, the uncomfortable choice today is the difference between regret and achievement tomorrow. Embracing discomfort doesn't mean seeking pain for its own sake. It means choosing the actions that build your future self, even when they are hard. It's deliberate, it's intentional, and it is the foundation of every life of purpose, achievement, and fulfillment. Remember this: the cost of comfort is hidden, subtle, and cumulative. The reward of discomfort is also subtle at first, but over time it explodes into transformation. Strength, focus, discipline, resilience, and identity all come from repeated acts of discomfort. So the question becomes, will you continue to pay the cost of comfort, slowly eroding your potential? Or will you choose discomfort deliberately and consistently, building a life far greater than ease could ever deliver? Every day, every choice, every moment matters. The small acts of discipline, effort, and intentional discomfort shape the person you become. And ultimately, that person determines the life you live. Knowing that comfort is quietly ruining your life and that embracing discomfort drives growth is one thing. Acting on it consistently is another. Real transformation comes from daily practices, small, deliberate actions that train your mind, body, and habits to resist ease and embrace challenge. Here are the key practices you can implement today. 1, morning discipline. Start your day deliberately. Don't hit snooze. Don't scroll through your phone the moment you wake up. Instead, wake at a consistent time, even if it's uncomfortable. Begin with a simple habit, a cold shower, stretching, or a short workout. The first act of discomfort each day sets the tone. It signals to your mind growth matters more than comfort. 2, focused work sessions. Structure your day around periods of concentrated effort. Set blocks of 25, 50 minutes where you eliminate distractions completely. Number phone, no notifications. Just deep work on what matters most. Each session is a small act of discomfort, resisting the urge to drift, scroll, or procrastinate. Over time, these blocks build focus like a muscle. 3, challenge yourself physically. Your body and mind are connected. Discomfort in one area strengthens the other. Exercise, cold exposure, or even simple physical challenges teach your brain to tolerate strain and resist the urge to quit. Push slightly past your comfort zone each day. Strength, stamina, and resilience compound. 4, seek mental discomfort. Read books that challenge your thinking. Write daily reflections, even if they feel awkward. Tackle tasks that scare you or that you've been avoiding. Each act of mental discomfort reshapes your mindset, teaches problem solving, and increases confidence. Growth doesn't come from comfort. It comes from thinking, learning, and acting in ways that feel uncomfortable at first. 5, limit easy pleasures. Identify the small comforts that steal your time. Social media, binge watching, mindless snacking. Set boundaries. Replace passive habits with active ones that create long-term value. This isn't deprivation. It's deliberate choice. It's turning your time and energy into investment rather than consumption. 6, reflect and reinforce. At the end of each day, review the choices you made. Ask yourself, did I resist comfort today? Did I push myself in areas that matter? What can I do better tomorrow? Reflection solidifies the habit of discomfort. Your brain learns to associate challenge with growth rather than pain or avoidance. 7, gradual progression. You don't have to leap into extreme discomfort immediately. Start small and build momentum. Each successful act of discomfort, no matter how tiny, reinforces your identity as someone who chooses growth over ease. Over time, these daily victories compound into massive personal transformation. Think about it like a snowball. Each small act of intentional discomfort adds volume. Days turn into weeks. Weeks turn into months. Months turn into years. Suddenly, the life that once felt out of reach is the life you've built piece by piece through deliberate, uncomfortable choices. Ask yourself, which version of yourself do you want to become? The one that drifts safely through life, trapped in ease? Or the one who chooses growth daily, tolerates discomfort, and ultimately becomes unstoppable? The truth is simple. Comfort is a choice. Discomfort is a choice. And your daily choices define your future. The challenge is not in understanding this, it's in doing it. That's why daily practices matter, because repeated small actions create identity, and identity drives your life. Each day you act intentionally, you reclaim control. Each act of discomfort strengthens your mind, builds your habits, and moves you closer to your full potential. And each day you choose comfort, you pay the invisible price. Slow, silent, cumulative, and ultimately costly. Transformation is not an event, it's a practice. And it begins the moment you choose discomfort over ease, action over passivity, and growth over comfort. You've seen the cost of comfort. You felt the pull of ease, and now it's time to face the ultimate truth. Your life reflects who you allow yourself to become. Comfort doesn't just slow you down. It shapes your identity. Every small choice, every delayed task, every moment you choose ease over effort is quietly molding the person you are becoming. And if you do nothing, if you continue to drift in comfort, you will wake up one day and realize that you are someone you never intended to be, living a life far smaller than your potential. The path forward is not about finding the perfect plan, a shortcut, or external motivation. It is about recognizing that transformation begins with who you decide to be each moment. The person you are now, with all your habits, decisions, and patterns, is the foundation for your life. If you want a life of discipline, energy, and growth, you must become the person who can sustain it. That person is forged not in comfort, but in deliberate, repeated acts of discomfort. Consider this. When you resist the urge to take the easy route, when you push yourself to act despite fear, fatigue, or distraction, you are sending a message to your mind. You are declaring your identity. You are training yourself to be someone who chooses growth over ease, action over passivity, and challenge over stagnation. Each act, no matter how small, compounds. The moment you consistently choose discomfort, you begin to feel different. You think differently. You act differently. Your habits align with your vision rather than your excuses. And this is where true freedom emerges. Freedom does not come from ease or comfort. It comes from mastery over yourself. It comes from building the mental strength to face challenges without avoidance, to persist when others quit, to act when others delay. Your identity becomes a fortress, protecting you from distraction, from laziness, from the quiet poison of comfort. You stop reacting to life and start creating it. You stop drifting and start steering. Imagine your life 1 year from now if you continue to surrender to comfort. Imagine the opportunities missed, the skills never developed, the confidence never built. Then imagine the same year if you choose growth, discipline, and discomfort daily. The difference is monumental. You are not bound by circumstances, luck, or talent. You are bound only by your choices and the identity you cultivate with them. This realization is both terrifying and liberating. It is terrifying because it means you are responsible, fully, completely responsible for the life you lead. No excuses, no waiting, no blaming. But it is liberating because it also means that you are in control. Every action, every decision, every uncomfortable moment is a chance to reinforce the person you want to be. You can rebuild your habits, sharpen your focus, and reclaim your energy. You can create a life that aligns with your highest potential, but only if you're willing to step out of comfort. So take a moment and commit to the uncomfortable path. Embrace the challenge, the resistance, the strain. Accept that discomfort is the currency of growth, and the investment pays dividends far beyond what ease could ever provide. Every morning you wake early, every task you tackle without delay, every difficult conversation you have, every moment you resist the pull of comfort is another brick in the foundation of your transformed self. And finally, understand this: identity is not static. You are not the person you were yesterday. You are becoming someone new, and the process is in your hands. The person you are becoming is shaped by the choices you make when it would be easier not to choose at all. The life you are building is the reflection of the daily victories over comfort, the accumulation of deliberate, uncomfortable action. You have the power to decide who you are. You have the power to decide the life you live. Comfort will whisper to you every day, but you do not have to listen. Step forward, embrace the challenge, transform your mind, and your life will follow. Every act of discomfort is a declaration. You are becoming someone greater, someone unstoppable, someone who will not be quietly ruined by ease. And that ultimately is the essence of living fully.